been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
All of these guys on Netflix, it ends up being creepy and sexual.
Yep, all of them.
That's part of it. And I think if you have that kind of power and people, and you've got a steady stream of people walking in your door.
Yeah.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Hollywood has always sold people a dream: the red carpets, the billion-dollar contracts, the private jets, the standing ovations, the fame. But according to comedians like Katt Williams and podcast hosts like Joe Rogan, there's another side to the entertainment industry that regular people almost never get to see. A side built on manipulation, power, control, and silence. For years, rumors about secret behavior inside Hollywood were dismissed as conspiracy theories. But then suddenly, more celebrities started speaking, more scandals started exploding, and names that once looked untouchable started collapsing one after another. Now people are starting to ask a question that sounds insane at first. What if some of these Hollywood secrets were actually real all along?
This is just from what I heard.
Right.
But, Tarantino was telling us about this old school Hollywood producer who had a bedroom in his office.
Sure.
So you would go into his office, and this is like, in the 60s or whatever. So he had his office, and then he had a whole bedroom in his studio.
Yeah.
Where he would bang all the starlets. Like, if you wanted to be a star, you had to bang that guy. Which is just the deal with the devil that has always been that business.
That's always been there. That's always been there. It's like why people start cults.
Yeah.
They always end up being cults, right? All these
100% of the time.
All of these guys on Netflix, it ends up being creepy and sexual.
Yep, all of them.
That's part of it. And I think if you have that kind of power and people, and you've got a steady stream of people walking in your door.
Yeah, and you're also doing this very specific thing where you're choosing the most beautiful people to be in these incredible...
What Joe Rogan describes here doesn't even sound shocking to people anymore. And that's the scary part, the idea that powerful Hollywood figures used fame, opportunities, and fear to control young actors has existed for decades. Many insiders claim it became so normal. People treated it like the price of success. That's why people keep calling it a deal with the devil. Not literally, but because some people allegedly sacrificed their morals and identity just to make it to the top.
Hollywood managers who manage kids, it's a racket, man.
Did you hear that kid from Strange...
these kids, dude.
That kid from Strange Things?
Stranger Things.
He just left his manager, and they're alleging... They just left their agent. See if you can find that. Owen Benjamin.
The curly-haired kid. Oh, yeah.
And Owen Benjamin just put it on his Instagram today because Owen has been taking a lot of heat online because he said that a 3-year-old kid shouldn't be transgender, and people giving him a hard time saying he's a bigot. Like, are you out of your mind?
What's up with these transgender?
Stranger Things actor dropped agent because of accused of sexual assault. Disney star follows suit. Jesus Christ. This is nuts.
Watch
man.
An Open Secret, and they go through. Dude, they pick. They're accusing people. It's for free. I think on Vimeo.
Yeah, you
can watch it for free. An Open Secret.
Just on YouTube or something.
On Vimeo.
You know what Sturgill Simpson told me? He said the same thing exists in music.
What?
He said in music there's a bunch of pedos and pederasty
in
music as well.
The entertainment business all the way through. Music. This was about. This is about music and movies and TV. It's about the whole entertainment business.
Women and kids.
Mostly kids.
And sometimes dudes. Terry Crews said that he was attacked. Well, not attacked. Some dude grabbed his
taken from his wife.
Some famous dude grabbed his dick.
This is where the conversation becomes much darker, because now it's no longer just about adult celebrities. It's about children entering an industry filled with money, power, and people hiding behind public images. Joe Rogan references documentaries, stories from former child actors, and accusations connected to managers and agents, and whether every claim is true or not, the pattern itself is what started alarming people online. Again and again, people connected to entertainment were accused of exploiting young performers. That's why so many former actors later admitted they felt psychologically damaged after growing up in Hollywood Some disappeared completely. Some struggled with addiction. Some publicly broke down. And others started exposing what they claim really happens behind closed doors.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
When this Jim Carrey interview aired, most people laughed it off as a joke. The hosts laughed. But years later, people started looking at the clip very differently. Because whether Jim Carrey was serious or sarcastic, his words matched what many people already suspected about Hollywood, a world where influence matters more than talent, and where celebrities sometimes hint at truths without fully exposing them. That's why this clip still goes viral today.
Oprah publicly supported victims of assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution."
Please welcome Seal!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Fans have come to her defense, pointing out Winfrey is a survivor. They also posted pics of Seal's ex, Heidi Klum, kissing Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein's downfall changed Hollywood forever, because once the accusations became public, people started questioning everyone connected to him. Actors, executives, talk show hosts. That's why Oprah's name also started trending online. Not because she was accused of crimes, but because people began asking how so many powerful figures claimed they never knew anything. For years, Hollywood's elite moved in the same circles. And once the scandals exploded, the internet started demanding accountability from everyone connected to that system.
It's the other thing about him it's so crazy is how many photographs of famous people were with him and how many people thanked him when they won the award.
Of course.
It's so, and how it was this open secret, but it's just like they accepted this deal with the devil. Like the devil's going to make you a star if you suck. And apparently that's what he would do.
Yeah.
Whitney told me that there was girls that he knew, girls that she knew rather, that did the deal. And it was a deal. Like he's going to get you in this movie, and they got in the movie. Like he would hold up his end of the bargain, which is one of the reasons why he was so powerful, because he really could. He wasn't just...
This is the part that made millions of people uncomfortable, because it suggests something terrifying, that some people didn't just tolerate abusive behavior, they benefited from it. According to these stories, certain producers allegedly had the power to instantly change someone's life. One role, one opportunity, one connection that could turn an unknown person into a global celebrity overnight. And when that kind of power exists, people begin compromising themselves in ways they normally never would. That's why the phrase "selling your soul" became attached to Hollywood culture, not necessarily in a supernatural sense, but in a moral sense. People sacrificing pieces of themselves just to survive inside the machine.
Throughout history, whether they were kings or what, human beings are human beings universally. So everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Jeffrey Epstein's case changed public perception forever, because once people saw the names connected to him, they realized how deeply power protects itself. Politicians, billionaires, celebrities, executives. And according to Katt Williams, Figures like Epstein and Weinstein understood exactly what influential people wanted. That's what made them dangerous. Not just money accesses the ability to provide experiences, connections, and secrecy. And once people become dependent on secrecy, control becomes easy. That's why the Epstein story disturbed the world so deeply, because it made ordinary people wonder how many powerful individuals were quietly connected behind the scenes.
Outside of my frame of reference, I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
And Dave Chappelle left tens of millions of dollars on the table when he walked away from his popular Comedy Central show. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking, and that's a quote. Chappelle says whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Dave Chappelle walking away from tens of millions of dollars still confuses people to this day, because from the outside, it looked like he had everything: fame, success, power, money. But Dave kept hinting that something felt wrong. And what made his interviews so powerful was that he never sounded like someone chasing attention. He sounded exhausted, like someone trying to escape a system before it consumed him. That salt trap analogy became legendary for a reason, because Dave wasn't talking only about money. He was talking about temptation. Hollywood keeps offering bigger rewards, bigger contracts, bigger fame, until eventually people feel trapped by the very success they once wanted. And according to Dave, most people never let go of the salt.
Kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they were like, hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud, too,
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me, when somebody said that it was so inappropriate, I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes. Terrible.
I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
You pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. It absolutely, you're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of that, when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
and you've been speaking about it for years.
Yeah.
There's so many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama,
Jay-Z,
everybody.
As more victims began speaking publicly, the entertainment industry entered a completely different era. Suddenly, stories that people were once afraid to tell started flooding into public view. And once survivors realized they weren't alone anymore, silence started breaking everywhere. But Joe Rogan points out something else important here. Many of the same elite figures accused of enabling toxic systems continued appearing beside world leaders, major celebrities, and respected public figures. That contradiction is what confused so many people online. How could individuals surrounded by rumors for years still maintain enormous influence publicly? And once those questions started spreading, trust in Hollywood institutions started collapsing fast.
Man, like that's
Do you think so that you think is real? So
well, yeah. Not only that, I think that there's sacrifices going on every day in Los Angeles. I mean, allegedly, like high-level musicians, let's say, high-level female musician is like chickens every day doing sacrifices, like
high level.
Well, I don't want to say. I don't want to say names because I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to be dead either.
This is where discussions about Hollywood often become controversial because some guests don't just talk about corruption; they start discussing rituals, occult symbolism, and alleged sacrifices. Now, obviously, some of these claims move into speculation. But the reason audiences become fascinated by them is because entertainment culture already feels strange to many people. Celebrities are treated almost like gods. Their influence shapes music, fashion, culture, even politics. So when former insiders start hinting at bizarre behavior behind closed doors, people naturally become curious about how deep the rabbit hole really goes.
There's an arrogance that some stars had, like particularly in the 90s. When I first came to Hollywood, and this is like really evident for me because I was not a star, but I was on a television show. So I got to be around a lot of stars. And there was a way that some of them would treat you. They would let you know that you are subhuman. You are below them. They would communicate with you in the most disrespectful and dismissive ways. Like weird. Like mousy guys that I could like instantly. And they would just be rude to you in a really weird way because they had power. They had power, and then when an executive would come over, they would turn on the charm. They'd be smiling and laughing, and then you would talk to them at the craft service, and they would dismiss you in the shittiest ways. I encountered a bunch of that.
Yeah.
It was commonplace, and it was, I think, a thing that they aspired.
One thing almost every outsider says about Hollywood is that power changes people. Joe Rogan describes celebrities treating ordinary people like they were beneath them. And according to many comedians and actors, that behavior becomes common inside elite entertainment circles because once someone gains status, they start living in a completely artificial environment. Everyone praises them, protects them, fears them. Eventually, some begin believing the rules no longer apply to them. And historically, that's usually when abuse starts growing behind the scenes.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
Malibu, and it's supposed to be the shit, but but I didn't understand that. I'm with a black man that owns his house in Malibu. That's unheard of. Flip made it clear. He said, yeah, there's other black people here. Miles Davis is down the street. He's renting. So-and-so, he's renting. I own my, but I still didn't get it because I'm young. It's like, this is some boring shit out here on Malibu, the white people left and right, what's going on? So Flip one day looked at me and said, oh, you want to see the shit? I don't know what this shit is, but I want to see something other than Malibu. And he took me to the parties. He took me to the shit to make me understand this is why I don't be around me. And so you seen the orgies, you seen the people that was the stars and the that they was doing, and the smells and the looks in their eyes. And I was, in my youth, I kept a cutlass on me. And so I know I'm walking around holding my cutlasses because you seen people in states of mind that you never experienced nothing like that. I knew people that got high, but they didn't get high and did the that I was seeing. And so after I was exposed to it, Flip took me around it about 4 or 5 times. And then he said to me, you see why I don't with that. Because, you had the group of people that painted their fingernails black, what they call Illuminati now. It was some kind of clique then. And in this clique, we wife swap and all this kind of shit. You can my wife and stand there and watch. And all I seen it. I literally seen all these things, and it was like, okay. And in my youth, I wasn't afraid, but I knew I would have hurt somebody if I was approached. I would have hurt somebody.
These stories about secret Hollywood parties have existed for decades. Most people dismissed them as exaggerated celebrity gossip, but over time, more entertainers started describing similar experiences: private mansions, extreme behavior, heavy drug use, powerful people acting completely differently away from cameras. And what disturbed many listeners most was how normal these environments allegedly became for industry insiders. Because once someone enters elite social circles, they're often exposed to behavior regular people would never imagine. And according to these stories, that environment can either corrupt people or force them to walk away completely.
Let your kids get into acting. Do not let your kids get into that.
Has it ever worked out? Well, the other thing is, look at what happened with that Sandusky guy. That guy was taking care of kids. His whole thing was hey, I do charitable work with children. I do charitable work and I take care of these kids. Camp. Yeah, I'm just all about helping kids. It's all about helping kids. They're our future.
Hell yeah, they're going after him.
That guy's entire business. Here's the thing. He's one of many. There's got to be a bunch of people that ran their business that way.
But Weinstein, they say in Hollywood, my agent's oh no, yeah, it's about time you got caught. I'm what the everyone knew this?
Dude,
everyone knew.
Did you see his contract? It was in his contract. The way he had his contract set up was they had a certain amount of money that he would have to pay if he had a harassment claim against him. It was it
was a thing for him.
Yes. He had so many claims. That's first offense was $100,000. Second offense was $250,000. Third offense was $750,000. Fourth offense was $1 million. He had it written into his contract with Miramax. His contract with the Weinstein Company,
he owned Miramax, right?
I don't know. Explain that contract. He'd have to pay $100,000.
Yes. They're protecting themselves.
Oh, when they sign him, they go, okay, the first time with one of these guys, it's going to be $100,000.
Yes.
Second time, it's $200,000.
It's not just. Yes, I mean it was.
That's
so
how big of a problem it was.
It was such a huge. It was so known of what he would do, and look, even Quentin Tarantino said that he did it.
This might be one of the most shocking parts of the entire conversation, because if those contract details are accurate, it suggests people inside the system already knew what was happening, not rumors, not suspicions, actual expectations. The idea that misconduct payouts could allegedly be structured into contracts made many people realize how normalized abuse may have become behind closed doors. And once that information spread online, people stopped seeing these scandals as isolated incidents. Instead, they started viewing Hollywood as a machine designed to protect powerful people until public pressure becomes impossible to ignore.
I think Ridley Scott knows things and Cormac McCarthy know things about the world that they put on film before everything was known. Like, I think if that movie was released today, people would be like, yeah, that's what's happening today.
Yeah.
And so, they're putting people in sulfuric acid into milk, into drums.
Yeah, what the?
And shipping them around the world, as a joke.
That's in the film.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
Did you see the thing in the Epstein files?
Oh yeah, like those
ordered
Epstein files. In fact, I can't believe that. Like, everybody just kind of like, okay, and they're moving on with their lives. Did you see that guy at the Atlanta airport flipping out, the well-dressed black dude who just freaks out in the Atlanta just like a couple of days ago? I saw it on YouTube, and I saw it on Twitter or X, and this guy's just freaking out in the Atlanta airport. He's like, I read the Epstein files. Like, all of you, you're going about your lives like nothing's happening. Look, you're all zombies. And he's right. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Everybody is just numb to everything. Like,
what shocked Joe Rogan the most wasn't just the Epstein files themselves. It was how quickly the public moved on. For a brief moment, the entire internet was focused on elite connections, private islands, sealed documents, and unanswered questions. Then suddenly, everyone returned to normal life, and that's what many critics of modern culture keep saying. People are overwhelmed. There are so many scandals, so many controversies, so much information constantly hitting the public that eventually society becomes emotionally numb. Almost nothing shocks people anymore.
Isn't it weird that that's what we think about when we think about Hollywood? We think about red carpets and people with tuxedos on and ridiculous watches and purses and all just standing there on the red carpet.
It's a tough one.
It's weird.
I mean, I don't knock, and by the way, I don't knock anybody for doing that at all. I don't think, but that ain't what we doing.
No. I'm not interested.
No, it's fun sometimes.
It's just so weird. It's so different than real life.
Investing celebrity into getting more celebrity is a treadmill I don't feel interested in running on in the twilight of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you get it. You know what it's like to be famous.
Yeah. And I'm not mad at fame. When you say fame, I'm not mad at that. Celebrity, well, that's the one.
What's the difference?
It's fine. I was talking to Letterman about it. Celebrity is the role. That's the one on the red carpet. You're famous. It's not that you're not a celebrity, but it's not like you're sticking your pinky toe out on the red carpet. And you're not going places and people saying, "What are you wearing?"
Right.
You didn't make your life about that. You're not tethered to endorsements and this, that, and the other. You're tethered to yourself, to your journey, to your life, which makes it meaningful.
At the center of all these conversations, there's one idea that keeps repeating itself. Fame changes people, not everyone. But enough people to make the entertainment industry look very different once you see behind the curtain. Dave Chappelle says there's a difference between being famous and becoming consumed by celebrity culture. And maybe that's why certain comedians continue connecting with audiences more than traditional Hollywood stars. Because people trust those who seem willing to walk away from the machine. Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan. Whether you agree with every claim they make or not, millions of people listen to them because they speak like outsiders looking in, not insiders protecting the system. And after everything exposed in recent years, many viewers now believe Hollywood's darkest secrets were never completely hidden. People just didn't want to believe them.